In the history of the WNBA, few players have made as much history as Diana Taurasi, who remains the only player to surpass 9,000 points. However, the rookie we'll be discussing today has every opportunity to become a legend. Join us as we delve into the details of Caitlin Clark's life. Where does she come from? Who is she? And why could she change women's basketball as we know it? Let's find out. Chapter 1. The Beginning. Caitlin Clark was born on January 22, 2002, and showed a keen interest in basketball at an early age. Growing up in Des Moines, she began playing at the age of 5, competing against boys due to a lack of motivation from other girls. But where did that motivation come from? Quite simply, she was raised in a family environment rooted in sports and academic excellence. It's important to note that people like her father, a prominent sales executive at Concentric International, and her mother, who previously held an executive position in marketing, influenced her development. While this may seem unrelated to athletics, there is a connection, as explained below. Brent Clark was a standout basketball and baseball player at Simpson College, while her mother, Ann Nizzy Clark, comes from a family with a long tradition in sports, being the daughter of legendary Dowling Catholic High School football coach Bob Nizzy. This is a clear indication of the athletic environment in which she grew up, not to mention her siblings, which are equally intriguing. Her brother Blake, obviously not a basketball player, is a college football player at Iowa State, while her younger brother Colin is following in his footsteps to become a standout football player. Even her cousin Audrey Faber excelled on the college basketball court at Creighton, proving that talent and dedication run in her family. And if that's not enough, there are other relatives, such as several uncles, including Tom Faber and Mike Nizzy, who have had more than brilliant independent careers. Tom, for example, was a star on the basketball court at both Drake and Utica, while Mike played football at Nebraska Omaha. This rich athletic heritage has shaped Clark and fueled her passion for sports and competition. Chapter 2. Her college career. So, this would lead her to have a great love for sports independently and dedicate herself to it. Not completely, but we can discuss that a little later. Later, she would start as a mere player in the Iowa Attack in the Amateur Athletic Union basketball program, still in the 6th grade. Coached by a man named Dixon Jensen, someone with experience in teaching players who would later become very important. Then there would be a significant breakthrough within Dowling Catholic High School, where she would excel in scoring and attract attention. In just her first year, she would average up a 15.3 scoring points. Later, she would score an astounding 33.4 points. Isn't that amazing? Thanks to these accomplishments, she had a great opportunity, which she clearly seized when she entered the University of Iowa. But before that, she attended another university where she maintained her standard. It wasn't until later that she began to attend Iowa, where she would finally refine her techniques. Obviously, she would begin to gain quite a bit of recognition. And here we must emphasize a little, she would also shine academically, studying marketing. In her sophomore year, she was recognized by the College Sports Information Directors of America as a member of the first team of Division I All-American Academies. So she had shown quite a bit of growth and progress in her career up to that point. Then she moved on to junior year and received the prestigious recognition as the 2023 Division I Women's Basketball. We'll talk a little more about her accomplishments before she received the same award for all Division I sports. Her great skills led to her being named the Big Ten's Freshman of the Year, and that was only in her sophomore year. Then she became the first player to lead Division I in both points and assists, something amazing compared to the men. But she didn't stop there. Clark would eventually join the Iowa Attack, raking up all the accolades she could, from national honors to within her own university. She managed to get into the WNBA that same year, ending her college career, and yes, we're about to see the beginning of a star. Chapter 3: Achievements. Her relevance in the field has become very important, having already mentioned some significant achievements. If it's necessary to delve deeper into her true talent as a player, she's one of the few who could directly compete with some of today's great players and be recognized in a more general sphere. When she was at the University of Iowa, she achieved one of her earliest successes, easily locatable, reaching triple-digit shots and games reaching up to 30 points barely in her second season in college. She presented herself as a great freshman. Yes, having a perspective of 30 points in the basketball world isn't that outstanding, but coming from her as she was just starting out. Not only that, she was also the only female basketball player to lead all D1 players in the United States. At that moment, she is showing her true worth thanks to her stats as a player, in which we can find some pretty significant points. She has managed to reach over 3,000 points, 900 assists, and a total of 800 rebounds in her entire college career, something that not even the great players of today have achieved, leaving a lasting memory and general appreciation. This makes her someone who won't end up in the NBA just because of her gender. On the other hand, she has also received several important awards that show how important she will be to the industry and the world for years to come. We're talking about awards like the Wooden and Rookie of the Year, as well as being in the Associated Press Top 10, which clearly shows the kind of prestige she holds. And this is just the beginning of her career, because it's more than clear that she will continue to go far, like the recent record she set as the all-time leading scorer in NCAA history by Pete Maravich, the women's basketball scoring record in the AIAW by Lynette Woodard, meaning success in both women's and overall. She's currently averaging 32.4 points per game. Yes, per game. Only 2 points more than her college record. But averaging that in every game is just something that makes it clear that she is on a completely different level. Chapter 4: Significance. As we've mentioned in the past, she has become quite an important figure in basketball. Great people like Rebecca Lobo, an ESPN analyst, have praised the player on several occasions for her incredible skills. This, in turn, has attracted the attention of other significant influencers outside the world of sports. Since her involvement with National Image Licensing, or NIL, she has become a prominent figure in the world of sports and entertainment. Clark has become one of the most sought-after names in the commercial marketplace. Companies like Nike have recognized her potential and signed deals that not only benefit the company, but also enhance Clark's status as a rising star in the sports world. With estimated earnings ranging from $30,000 to $100,000 and the opportunity to receive a shoe signed by Kyler Murray, these deals are not only financially lucrative, but also emotionally rewarding for the young athlete. This has created what is socially known as the Caitlin Clark effect, meaning that people are genuinely interested. There have also been significant increases in attendance and television viewership for the sport. This makes it very important to the world of women's sports. For example, her participation in the 2023 NCAA tournament contributed to a historic increase in viewership, making the national championship game the most watched in the history of women's college basketball. That's why brands typically associate with athletes, like Gatorade decided to reach out to this player, making it clear that she was one of the few college athletes to secure such deals, positioning her in a somewhat privileged way. During her senior season, Clark's impact became even more apparent as her team sold out every home game for the first time in program history. She also set a record for attendance at a women's basketball preseason exhibition game. In fact, every team that hosted Iowa during the season set attendance records, with an average increase of 150%. Iowa's games during Clark's final season were the most watched in women's basketball history on 6 different television networks, including the Big Ten Network, ABC, Fox, FS1, NBC, and Peacock. She garnered significant media attention, culminating in her final regular season game when she surpassed Maravich's career scoring record in Division I. That game was the most watched regular season women's basketball game since 1999, and the second most watched college game overall, including men's games. With each game, Caitlin Clark raised not only her own game, but the status and visibility of women's basketball to unprecedented levels. As a result, she has attracted the attention of many major corporations, including Vinyl Shop, a Des Moines-based apparel company, and Hy-Vee, a highly recognized supermarket chain in the Midwest and Southern United States. Remember, she is a marketing major, so she's likely using her knowledge to increase both her profitability and her visibility within women's basketball. That's why companies like H&R Block, Topps, Bose Corporation, Buick Automotive, Goldman Sachs, and State Farm, among others, end up working with her and even giving opportunities to other players. This makes her a major player, just getting started with a bright future in the top 30 highest-paid college athletes of the year, and with significant support from the masses. Caitlin Clark is an important player with a bright future and great talent. That's why she's so highly regarded on the court, and why we hope she'll be the tipping point that makes the WNBA as important as the NBA. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. And I'll see you next time